Cats is the Dark Souls of movies. Cats is the Dark Souls of movies. I mean, Dark Souls doesn't nauseate you. Dark Souls doesn't make you want to throw up. But it's an endurance test. It's like it's a game franchise that tempts you to give up at every step of the way. It's like give up, give up, give up, give up, give up, give up, give up. And Cats, simply by showing the characters on the screen, just by showing characters on the screen, does that. It tempts you to leave the theater or stop playing if you watch this, if you own Cats or if you're able to get it. Dude, I've never felt this way before. I've never felt this way where my body was telling me that I needed to leave, but it was like a primal instinct. It wasn't like, oh hey, this sucks, I have better things to do. No, it was, Emmanuel, you're in danger. Listen to me. Leave. That's what my body was saying to me. That's what my body was saying to me. My body was saying, outside of here, in the cinema, there's no danger. You're in danger now. Go. It was horrible. All right. First 5 minutes was awesome because the opening song was pretty good, and they don't show you the really messed up cats. And I'm not talking about messed up on purpose. They don't show you the cats with really shoddy CGI in the beginning. They keep them on lock for later on. It's like in Dark Souls, when it's like in a game when the game starts out with really manageable enemies, and it just keeps the really difficult ones for later. That's what it was. Like in the opening song, I was like, wow, why is everyone overreacting about this? This is not bad at all. 10 minutes later, I wanted to throw up. 10 minutes later, I was fighting with my stomach. Okay? I've never felt that in a cinema before. I've never felt that sense of existential dread, that feeling of intense discomfort, of where. And I'm lucky I didn't eat before I saw the film. I think that's what saved me, because I'm on this intermittent fasting regime, so I hadn't eaten jack, so that's what really saved me. Had I eaten beforehand, the purpose of this video would be completely different. Right? And that's probably a PSA. Don't eat before you see this film. Okay. What else? The CGI was not the only problem. All right. Another problem was the accents, right? I don't know why they insisted on the entire cast having to speak in a British accent, in a British accent, right? Because you've got these American actors who I think Universal's a vocal coach, accent coach budget was blown after all the CGIing was done, and there was nobody left. They couldn't afford anyone, so then they just had the actors just do what they thought was a British accent. Like, holy crap, it was so bad. Like, you have these American actors pretending to be British actors who are pretending to be cats. Like, that's already too many levels of work. Like, you could just have everyone just do their own accent and just be natural, instead of having Taylor Swift's accent jump around, Jason Derulo's accent jump around, and he ends up sounding like a Caribbean dude. It's like he's aiming for British, and he goes off course, and he ends up with a Caribbean accent, some weird Caribbean accent. Anyways, not that would have particularly saved the film, but I think it would have just made it. It would have eased the pressure on my soul that the film laid, right? And what else? Oh yeah, I have no idea why they didn't just make this an animated film. Had they made this an animated film, this would probably be on the cusp of sweeping the Academy Awards, right? But whoever was in charge, you know what I think happened? I think after Les Mis, right, Tom Hopper's last musical, if I'm not mistaken, I think the studio was like, you know what, you can choose your next project, or they floated him the idea of Cats, and I don't know, I think I think they thought it would be easier to accomplish. I didn't think they expected at the beginning at the start of production that they would end up with this monstrosity of a film. I thought they just thought it would just be straightforward. Honestly, had the entire cast either been completely animated from head to toe, as in make it an animated film, or had the cast simply worn cat ears and cat tails and retained the rest of their and kept the silly cat movements that they keep doing all the time. That's fine. I don't give a shit about that. Had they not resorted to plastering bits of human face onto these heads that don't even have a consistent shape, where the ears don't have consistent starting points. I don't know. All they needed to do is just get every actor to just wear cat ears, and we have tails. If there's a behind the scenes of literally the entire movie, if there was like a behind the scenes of the cast doing every single song in human form, right? Just wear the cat ears and with a tail, right? You can't see what I'm doing. I'm doing this. Okay, that's to represent the cat tail, right? And just release that as bonus content on a DVD. That for Academy voters' consideration, that would honestly redeem the film if they do something like that. If they were doing stuff like that, but I bet they didn't. I bet they didn't even record their rehearsals, because they probably don't do that, because it probably costs money and whatever. So, anyways, we're stuck with this. We're stuck with this abomination of a film. All right. I'm just going randomly. Okay. Here's a drinking game that will probably end in your demise. Okay. Take a sip of a really weak drink. Right? Okay. Let's make this easy. Anytime you hear the word Jellicle, or anytime Jennifer Hudson's cat, I think her name is Grisabella. Anytime Grisabella makes a sad face, let me see if I can do it. No, I'm smoldering. I don't know how to do it. She was like, oh yeah, it's kind of like, she kind of looked like Mahershala Ali, because she would lick her lips. You know how Mahershala Ali licks his lips, like, right? She would do that shit when she was crying, and she ended up looking like Mahershala Ali. All right, you heard it here first. All right, now you know why that looked familiar if you end up watching the movie. Anyways, anytime she makes a sad face, take a sip, or anytime you hear the word Jellicle, make a sad face. I mean, don't make a sad face. Take a sip, all right? And you'll lose. You'll lose, because you just either or, pick one. You'll lose, all right? And honestly, it was just depressing. Like, I don't even know why she was kind of overacting. I kind of feel ambivalent about Jennifer Hudson's acting, because I feel like every time she acts in a musical, she's trying to win another Oscar. All right, like she was trying to, like I was getting flashbacks to, in her performance in this film, I was getting flashbacks to Anne Hathaway's performance in Les Mis, right? Like she would pause between singing and she would just take time to cry and then continue singing. And when she sang, like in quiet, like when she's introduced, like the music is low, but then she sings really high for some reason. Like she's just overdoing it. Like, lady, sing with the tone. Anyways, I'm just hating. All right, I'm just being nitpicky on this one thing. But like a few seconds, 5 seconds of her performance of the last time she sings in the film where it's just outstanding. It's just mind blowing. Where it's like amazing. Like, yes, she's not singing too much for the music, and she's not singing medium. Like when like anyways, I'm struggling to for verbalize what I'm thinking. But there is a moment when the music rises to meet her challenge, and then she and the music, like, they just go together perfectly, and she lets it all out. It's like a floodgate. And then that's the moment I kind of teared up. I thought about tearing up because every time she's on screen, it's like Tom Hooper's daring you to tear up. He wants you to feel sorry for her. And I don't. I don't until that point where I'm like, oh shit. Now I feel what she's going through. And then she goes back to her ordinary singing, her medium singing. Because she spends a lot of it doing this medium, where the music is medium, and then she's either too high or she's just warbling and she's being weep singing. She does a lot. She does so much weep singing. Anyways, I'm getting off this point. I've been on this point for too long. The main chick, I completely forgot her name. Um, French, is it Francesca Hayward? I don't know. I don't know where I'm getting those words from, but she's not that great of a singer. But I feel like that helped because, slight spoilers, she's like a newcomer to the cat community. All right, it feels like cat is a kind of, no, I'm not gonna say it. If she's like a newcomer, so her singing isn't that. She feels like she's kind of inexperienced, and really in reality she's like a ballerina. I don't know if she comes from a singing background, but I just heard that she's a ballerina. And when she killed it, bro. Like, even though her singing wasn't all that, it served the story because she's like a young cat. She's just new to the game. I'm just remembering some of the more horrible moments from the film. Oh god. um dude dude what was it? Where do I start? There's two. Rebel Wilson's performance and James Corden's performances. The thing about Cats is they hired these actors to play basically extreme versions of themselves. Like, we know Jason Derulo is hot, but now everyone in the film just acknowledges it. Like, all the female cats are like, he's so, and like, dude, okay, you have to hire a guy just because he's hot, and then he's just gonna play the hot guy. Like, that's kind of sad, bro. And like, James Corden he in real life he's like kind of overweight. I don't think he's like fat, you know. You know what I mean? But he plays a fat cat, and everyone's like, he's fat. Like, dude, that is so obvious. That's such an obvious thing. So stuff like that kind of contributes to my ambivalence about Jennifer Hudson's role, because it's like she basically just got hired because she's an Academy Award winning singer, and they're basically just trying to win Oscars, and that's why they included her in the film. Like, not because she was like the best, not because she, but I don't know. It's the casting decisions in this film they mystify me a little bit. Anyways, bro, some of the CGI is just bad. You just literally need to make peace with the fact that for the majority of the runtime of the film, you're gonna feel nauseous. I don't know how to say that. You're gonna feel bad. Eventually, you'll just, oh man, I'm so glad I didn't eat before I saw this film. Anyways, yeah, man, I don't know what else there is to say. Ian McKellen, it's like he didn't know he was in a bad film. he didn't know that he was, I don't know how to put it, but he took his role extremely seriously, bro. Like, he honestly deserves the nomination because he was acting his cat ass off, man. Jeez Louise, like the little things he was doing. Oh man, like I genuinely felt like he wasn't overacting. You know, like the acting in this film ranges from campy to over overdoing it. Like, very few actors in this film, like, just look at the role. The best you can get in this, the best acting outside of Ian McKellen that you'll see in this film is people just looking at the role and just taking the role and just doing what they were hired to do. But Ian McKellen, it's like when he's on screen, when his scene starts, it's like he's in his own film. Like, if you just cut out Ian McKellen's part and obviously blank the screen, right, and just put a photo of him, a static image of him, right, while he's singing, like, you get something really magnificent. I think really the highlights of this film are that brief 5 seconds where Grisabella, I keep wanting to say Griselda, Grisabella's, that brief 5 seconds where Grisabella sings from the bottom of her heart, and Ian McKellen's entire performance. Everything else kind of just is hit or miss. Like, in the first half of the film, Cats is the Dark Souls of movies. Cats is the Dark Souls of